All right, inside this little cavity that was behind this plate here, which I had the needle gun and undo the screws, which I don't know if they were screws or rivets, but we got this thing out of here. And there's two little areas here that goes through this opening in a hole. There was nothing that I knew of that was connected in there. And then you have this contactor right here that these little fingers had energized there. I don't know what the original function was that, but it was covered up and it's been in there probably since the manufacture of the lathe. At first I thought maybe it was something that came out this direction and that these were broken off, but it definitely, there was something that came in and made contact through that opening there. Kind of interesting. All right, but we were completely going for a complete paint job, so we're gonna go put these in a box. Whether we actually put this thing back in there and just put a clear cover on it or whatever, we don't know. Hello, welcome to my job shop. Welcome to my channel. My name's Keith and I'm your host. All right, we finally pressure washed all of our components today. Still had some good temperature outside before it started freezing. So got the floor clear around the lathe. Did a finish wiping. Got my straight edge here. Got a few other tools. Let's take a look and observe the wear on the ways. All right, let me zoom you in. That should put you in the view of everything for this side, and then we'll switch over and we'll go over to the other side. But let's go ahead and show you what I found. First off, here's my 4-foot straight edge, and I'm just setting it on here like this. And I took my feeler gauges, and actually this was a brand new set of feeler gauges. And what you should do when you first get a brand new set of feeler gauges, open them up and then throw them down on the ground. And I got the 2000s hit underneath here. It fell into here and bent it, and I got upset for 3 seconds. All right. With this straight edge across the top of the ways on the rear here, I started out with the 1.5 and the 2 thou and 3 thou, and then I got up to the 4000s, and I can slide that 4 for about a foot here, and then I try a 5, and I got that in there. Let's jump up to a 7. Okay, I got a 7 in here for about 3 inches. Can I get an 8 in here? An 8 will just start and stick in there, but it will not pass in. Okay, I got it to pass right there. All right, so I'm going to say 8,000. Let me find my Sharpie here. All right. Now let's find the spot that I was at. Right there. All right. That kind of pinpoints, I'm just writing on here, 8 thousandths at that point right there. Now I'm going to move my straight edge into this surface in here. And I've already wiped these down and they're kind of grip free. I didn't do any stoning. I think I'm working with measurements that I'm not going to need a stone, and we're going to be shipping this out to be ground. Okay, right here's where I got the 8 thousandths, and I can feel a tiny edge right on this outer edge here that is raised up. In fact, take a square, or a square tool bit is what I meant to say, and I take a 3 thousandths feeler gauge, and let me move my hand out of the way. This is also too, this has got a cheapo depot fastener in it here. So I'm able to put my 3 thousandths feeler gauge all the way underneath there, right near that edge. I know I can't get a 4 because I've already checked this before I had you on the screen. All right, so I got 3 in there. So if you got 8 here and 3 there, it's got to be somewhere around 11. So I took my 1-inch micrometer because I didn't 100% clean this, but I wiped it down, and I know it has a little gunge or whatever because I just haven't got there and wire brushed it or cleaned it or anything else like that. I'm pretty close to 1 inch. And then I come over here and I'm 2 under 1 inch. And then I come right here and I'm at about 989. Maybe a tenth or so over that. So I am getting confirmation that I'm within 1/1000th of measuring this 11 in here. So I'm going to say that this has 11 thousandths of an inch of wear, and I think the wear starts from right about there and right about here, just from what I can see as far as marks on there. So that's that area right in there that we're talking about working. You know, I could slide that 4 under here and over to about here. So I'm going to say that this weighs on this side here is worn about 11 thousandths. All right, now we're going to go into here, and here's our 3 thousandths. About to here and about to there. Grab a 4 here. About right in here. I don't know if I can get a 5 in there, but we'll try. Okay, a 5 is poking in there, but it won't go anywhere. So 4, I'm just gonna hit the middle right there. I'm gonna put a mark right there. Okay, so we have 4. That feels pretty smooth across there. I'm not going to get a surface that's going to be definite like out here to slide a feeler gauge in anywhere. So I'm just going to write that as 4 thousandths right there. But of course I'm going to check it with my micrometer again, because this has got a nice machine. This was all machined back in 1941, and I think their standards were pretty damn good there. Okay, I get about 880, and we'll go all the way down here at the end here, and we got about 877. And about 874. So that verifies that we've got 4 to 5 thousandths right there in that ways. And the carriage does have a small way contact right there. Even though it has the V out here, it has a small contact right here as well. This is carrying majority of the load out here from the tool pressure and stuff. But you saw, you saw how gigantic that taper attachment is on this machine. All right, let's move over to the other side so that I can show you measuring the ways on the 45 guide here. We know that it has a ridge up here, and we're going to take that in consideration. See now, this underside right here is been proven, the undersides of the other two way surfaces that we've checked before. We're gonna use that on here as well. It's nice and uniform and pretty close to virgin at this end of the ways, and up here where we have the bluing on there, and our miking up here is 2 inches 475, 474. And we come up here, or the same thing. Two inches 471. So within 4 thousandths from end to end. It could be dirt and filth in here. It could be that this front part here was probably used just a little bit more than that down there, which is on the end, which you hardly ever get there with the carriage. You do get up here occasionally, real close. All right, we go right here in the middle where we suspect the most, we can see the most wear, and where it kind of lines up with the wears in line straight across the lathe here where we've been finding them. And the V block rocks slightly, so I take a high and low, and I can average it out. Okay, so I'm pushing it back, so I got a high here at 2 inches 466, and then I pull it towards me, and I got 2 inches 462, 62 and 66. So we'll say about 2 inches 64. So I'm reading 12 to 13 thousandths of wear here, and I feel that little bit of a lip there. So we could have real close to 15 thousandths, which was about the max that we saw with the indicator run out on the ways when we had the carriage on here. So basically we're finding the amounts that are going to have to be ground off of here, and we're going to be getting an estimate on what needs to be ground off of here, and we're going to take it from there. All right, so I'm jotting down, and I'm going to say I'm going to call it 14. We all know once you set it up on the machine and you're doing the full travel with the indicator, you'll be able to actually travel back and forth. I'm just presuming from my experience working with HBMs and planers and things like that, that they'll run indicators back and forth and they're checking parallelism and also the amount of wear they'll have better ways to check it than I possibly can here. But this is what I have to work with, and this is how I'm measuring it. So I'm really estimating that this has got to have 15 thousandths taken off of it, and that's probably what we will be bidding the amount taken off of here. All right, you like to call it less than that, but if you had less than that, then you would have a grind that went perfect to here, and then you'd still have a hollow in the middle of it. So it is what it is. There's no way getting around it. All right, it's kind of unique that this lathe has only got a short little rack gear here. That's kind of cute. And I don't know what I'm going to do other than pressure washing this thing before send it off to them. Maybe I'll get into needle gunning and cleaning it up or whatever. Right now I'm going to go ahead and put my straight edge away, and I'm going to go ahead and bring the carriage top back in, turn it upside down, set it on here so you got a good camera angle right now. It's in the other room with a lot of my other components that I just finished pressure washing, and got those all clean. And so we'll look at that real quick, and then I'm going to get down on the ground here and get the impact, and we're going to get the bolts off of this thing, and we're actually going to lift the bed right off the pedestals. All right, and then I don't think we can get it down any farther than that, but we'll be able to work this pan, we'll be able to work the pedestals without being down on it. You know, we'll be able to put them up on the bench on the other side there and work on them, and be able to stand up and use our floor mats and not be down on our hands and knees. And that's the name of this the game there for the 65-year-old guy here. All right, I almost moved you in there because it's later on the day and this thing's getting pretty heavy. Here's the inner ways that I was telling you had the short little ways, and this little shoulder right here, you know, that kind of feels like almost 15 thousandths right there. This has still got some of the checkering here, but you can see there's definitely worn out there. Still some of it in here, still some of it there, all the way across there. These felts, they're as hard as rocks. You know, there was a long time before those needed to be changed out. All right, with curiosity, let's take our depth mic. We can see that that was the original machine mark right there. And so we're gonna take it from the original depth here, and we got 13 thousandths there. Let's check it down here at this end here. And I got 18 thousandths. So we on the ways we only saw about 4 thousandths there, but we know that both sides, inside and outside, was between 10 and 15 thousandths wear that we can record. Not even taking if we could record this somehow on here. I mean, we probably can put a straight edge in here and see how much wears out here, or how much of a rock is in this, because we know that that's what happens. This will actually be worn this way, and the table's going wearing this way. So the wear chose to pick this point versus the flat ways, and then the wear weared a lot more on the outer ways here and here on the bed of the lathe. Not to say that these haven't taken quite a bit of wear as well. But I was working. Why would this go 15 thousandths and this go 10 thousandths and this was only 4? Because the wear came to right here. So that completes the circle of investigation for me to at least get an estimate of what it's going to take them to grind a bed and then possibly build these up and then resurface these ways as well. We'll think about on the other side of this what we're going to be doing. If they're going to handle this whole thing, then I can get moving on other parts of the project. So we'll see what they give us for a price. Okay, I went around 2 of the cross sections in between the ways here. I had it over here and I thought it would be equal, but it looks more, if you stand back where you're at there, it kind of like justifies the weight back and forth. We'll see. If I have to adjust it or if I have to pick it up with another location, we're on the bases. We're going to undo the bolts. We'll be able to pick it up, set it down, pick it up, set it down. It's like 2 giant sawhorses underneath here, so they're not going to like topple over or anything else like that. So, okay, so now I need to reach through there and undo the fasteners holding up from underneath. Okay, there's a bar here, and the butt end of my ratchet came down on it. Let's see if we can do that a little smoother. Okay, just come down part. I saw some movement there. When you're real close to it, it was just leveling itself out on the floor here. A little bit more room in here. I think we're going to get the close ones first. Okay, did the same thing. This rolled over that way there, and okay, let's take a look at this. I like that. Okay, I'm just going to move it this way here a little bit. All right. No treasures. No treasures, but the pleasure of scraping that area of the pan that's never been scraped. The pan is in exceptional shape, and I can't wait to do the sump and all of that, because this is ideal for flood coolant, and this lathe I want to set up with flood coolant. All right, that concludes this video. Till next time, get her done.